And what greater failure could there be?
The greatest teacher.
I think true failure is in giving up.
How do you define failure?
Failure. I think failure is not trying again, because I think failing is inevitable. So I wouldn't say the first time you fail, you failed. But if you don't pick yourself up from that failure, then yeah, that's failure.
I think true failure is in giving up, I think when we fail to view a particular challenge as an opportunity to grow in another direction or move forward in another way, then we fail in that thing. And I don't think that necessarily means that you are a failure. We can fail at some things. I think you can still very much be a success if you use that failure as a springboard for something else, propel you in another way.
The thing about failure, I don't think you can fail. You can only give up, because if you don't achieve that goal that you had, you can still keep trying. And with perseverance, anything is possible. You will eventually get there. The only time you can fail is when you stop trying.
Just doing something wrong.
When you're not happy, I mean, there are very specific metrics for failure in society, but I feel for me, if I'm in something that is not making me happy, not in the generic sense, but something that really doesn't fulfill my core values and meet me at a soul level, then that's failure for me.
Not reaching your goals on the most practical level, not hitting a target on time, for me is failure. Not getting the expected result.
So your failure is more goal oriented, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens when people don't set goals? That means they don't get a chance to fail, which is also not a good thing, because you need to fail, right?
I think that it's even deeper than that, because it means to me that you don't even have a chance to exist. You're just alive, but you're not existing or partaking in the world. And what greater failure could there be? Goal setting for me isn't like, okay, saying I want to do this and doing it. It's the journey that comes with that. So it's all encompassing. So the mental journey that you go through, the growth, the setbacks, or even just the fast-pacedness of it, right? It changes you. So yeah, that's have goals.
Not living the life that you plan to live, definitely. Even if you have a lot of money and you're seen as a successful person, you are respected, but you are not living your purpose, so what you planned out to live, then you are a failure.
Failure is the greatest teacher. It's not something where you're like, it's the end or be all, but it's something where it chisels you to perfection. That's what I think failure is. It's a teacher. Yeah.
A lot of things. Like I failed at a lot of things, so the definition would be broad.
Then again, that's why the question needs to be asked. Like, what does it mean to fail? Because maybe sometimes you actually didn't really fail. You just learned a lesson. And then now you're just taking it as a fail when it actually wasn't a fail.
How do you define failure?
Depending on others, too much, because that's when people can control you.
Failure is the inability to grow.
It's like giving up, to be honest. It's giving up, that's actually failure. No.
If I don't get rewarded for what I've done, I'm failing.
Not achieving your goals that you set out for yourself, that is failure.
Not being able to pursue what you wanted to pursue in life.
How do I define? I know the feeling, like when you have something to do and you don't go in 1,000%, you failed, because you didn't show up. I think I'll put it that way, but I think deep down we all know the feeling, for sure.
Not being content, and also could be defined, I know most people define it as not being able to reach your goals as well, which also could be, failure. So I think it's not meeting
the expectations that we had set for ourselves according to our capabilities. Do you get what I mean?
When I don't get to reach my goals, then for me that's failure.
Is when you give up from the first attempt.
It's when you're not satisfied with yourself. So, and basically comparing yourself with other people, yeah.
Okay, so you don't think when you're successful, you compare yourself to other people?
You can do that in a positive way, but like when you do that in a negative way, that's like being a failure.
Feeling like you have blown it. Yeah, you've blown it.
Not attaining what you want to attain. But again, to be fair, it mustn't be something which is impossible to do. If I set myself a task and I'm like, you know what, guys, by tomorrow morning, I want to have built the Empire State Building or something like that, that's impossible. That'll take time. So it has to be something which is in the confines of achievability, yeah.
Not achieving what you wanted. Like I said, you could be rich, but then, I don't know, maybe you wanted to build, a plane from a house, but you never did.
Wait, a plane from a house?
Yeah, like your house transforms into a plane.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Failure is not reaching your goals or your target.
Not being able to do what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. Yeah.
Learning moments, teachable moments, those are failures. Some people, it depends on how you look at life. For me, I find teachable moments in everything. Sometimes I miss some points, which is fine, and then I sit back and reflect, how did I miss this? What could I have done differently? Or what could I have done more of or less of? So it's about reflection. So those teachable moments for me.
If you set a goal, or if maybe you want something, and then you can't get that thing, or you try to achieve something and you work hard for that thing, but still it doesn't come out the way you want. So I can say it's failure.
Failure is when you set out a goal and you're saying that by the end of the day I could have done this and you don't. That, to me, that's failure.
Failure, I think it's when you skip the lesson in the problem. Like when you have a problem and you skip what that problem was trying to teach you. I think that's failing.
We can't define failure because when someone fails an exam. Failure is when you give up on it. That's when you fail. When you have failed the exam, literally failed it, that is you trying. So you can literally just get back up and do it again. But the minute you give up, that's when you fail.
Failure sucks, but you learn a lot. In fact, we were speaking about it earlier. So yeah.
That was the lessons, man.
Def, lots of lessons.